Good evening, welcome to No Cap with the Boys.
It is sponsored by Body Heavy Massage, Sydney's #1 mobile massage service. Now COVID safe. How are you, mate?
Yeah, pretty good.
How are you, boys? Jacob?
Yeah, good, mate.
How's your week been?
Not much happening, but other than that, it's good that there's footy tomorrow.
You
so.
still training hard?
Personally, yeah. Yeah,
You-
COVID safe.
Yeah, I heard rumours that the intensity's dropped.
Must work for Fox Sports.
Oh, shit, Tony. He's back. The fan favourite.
How are we, boys?
That's cracking.
Nothing, man. I guess just staying COVID safe during these times. But hey, we've got 6 full rounds of footy to go to finish off the season, so at least we've got something going.
Any chance for Brisbane? No.
Nah, another valiant effort on the weekend, just not enough class to get us over the line, similar to the Dogs' performance, I guess.
At least you got your answer. I don't know if we have Adam Reynolds. So
I don't know, you signed a good 6 or so players. Yeah, I think Dogs are like 1 or 2 players short of a solid top 8 side.
7 and a 9.
Yeah,
I
something
mean,
like
there's
that.
nothing else you can think of for Canterbury. Yeah, like you said, Tony, it's the business end of the season. Some teams, their hopes are already dashed, like Brisbane, like the Dogs. The teams up the top, Penrith, I'll talk about them. They've got about how many injuries, suspensions, people having to leave the bubble. They're very distracted up there in Penrith.
Yeah, like Dotto now gone.
6 weeks.
Leads the comp with average running meters or total running meters in the game, and he's going to be a massive loss for them. So unfortunately, 6 weeks, and now Fisher Harris away for a few weeks. That's probably be another 3 weeks.
Is RP suspended
RP
as well?
suspended.
One more
Coruscant,
game. Yeah, so he'll be back next week, but
Cleary's still out.
yeah, he'll probably also be back next week too. So they do lose a lot of players and also a lot of leadership.
I'm trying to think of all the
Experience.
players. Yo's out.
5 key players out this week.
But if you look at the team, it still looks pretty solid.
Still competitive. And you know what? Melbourne's been in a similar scenario throughout the year as well. Like Pappenhausen's been out, Grant's been out, Finucane's been in and out. You know, like they've had a number of players that have been away. But it's just those good teams, because they've got such a good structure, it's just like that next man up mentality that they have.
They know how to handle it.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they go this week. Look, I don't personally think they're going to win, but like I'm sure they'll be up for the fight.
I mean, the big game, obviously, is Penrith-Melbourne. Penrith did beat them early in the year without Cleary, so they kind of have proven they can get the job done without their main guy. But 5 main guys, like Benny said, that's a lot to overcome.
I was thinking without Cleary, I don't think they're a chance of actually winning the comp, because I think he's that big of a difference to the team. They just look, the attack is just
I look
a lot less
lost.
structured. Yeah, a bit lost, I'd say. And compared to Melbourne right now, like comparing them back to round 2, they've turned it up a level big time since then. So even with just the one player out, I don't know if they can beat a peak Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, and because Luai and Cleary, like we didn't see them struggle as much at the start of last year when Cleary was suspended. But this year, because Luai and Cleary have formed such a lethal combination, Penrith are used to that. So it allows Luai to do what he wants to do, and Cleary just controls the team. But now, because he's out of the side, Luai's had to take a bit more of a senior role. And you can tell, like, their attack hasn't been the best. I know they only beat Brisbane by 6 and beat them by 8 earlier in the year, but, you know, I think if Cleary's there and they're all, 100%, they put on a bigger score. And even against the Warriors, similar story. But, yeah, I don't know. It just, hopefully Cleary comes back soon and then we can see him play the way that they used to play before Origin, I think. I think that's the worst thing that happened to him.
You're right in that sense, but they did get the job done. I think that's the main thing. They're getting the job done without him.
Yeah.
Building confidence. It's building,
Yeah,
just
but
the
you got to remember
belief.
who they're versing.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily bad that Cleary is out for Penrith. That means that Melbourne haven't gotten a chance to go at him. They're saving it for something. Obviously, it's the grand final. So they might spook him when they get to that stage if they converse. True.
Yeah, so it's probably a tactical play by Ivan saying that.
Not forced, but it's just like by chance. All right, he could have played this
He
week,
possibly
maybe.
could have played. We don't know that.
But
save him for later when they got to watch tape, but it's not going to be against them. So
they don't need to win. It's not necessarily the main thing for them.
Top 2 sealed, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, even just get to top 4, you'll be all right. Ben, do you think Penrith's still in the hunt?
They're going to make the finals and have a decent run at the finals.
Do you think full strength they can beat full strength Melbourne?
Probably not.
You don't think so?
Melbourne's been putting numbers on people without their main players.
But this is going to be the second time that Melbourne don't get to verse a full-strength Penrith. If they end up versing in the grand final, full-strength Penrith, first time, you don't think they can get them, Penrith?
It's 50-50. They
But
might
you
get lucky.
you really think Melbourne?
Yeah, because Melbourne's pretty strong without their key players. So Harry Grant, let's say Harry Grant's away, Brandon Smith steps up, Tyson Smoothie steps in on the bench. Like, they've got a solid team. Like, Dale Finucane's out, Brandon Smith will play lock, Tyson Smoothie will just play hooker. And
Do you not find that issue, though, that you look at Melbourne, they just got Ryan Pappenhausen back. He was pretty rusty on the weekend, to be honest. Played about
34.
30-something years.
Exactly, yeah.
And also, you got those players you're talking about coming back in, Harry Grant. How do they fit back in the team when they're flying? You know what I mean? I think it's harder getting back into a team that's flying, and individually it might hurt some or bruise some egos, right? I was starting all year, I was doing everything right. Now I'm on the bench. What did I do to deserve that?
well, Harry Grant was 19th man last week. So he's not far away from being back on the bench and being back at his number 9 position.
But doesn't it ruin the chemistry, though? Him coming back into the starting side, Pappenhausen coming back to the starting side, and players that were doing their job going back.
The chemistry is at training, so these players train to create this chemistry. And Craig Bellamy's developed his players to know his playbook, his plays, what he wants them to do while they are out on the field for him and for the Melbourne Storm, and to perform for the jersey that they're wearing.
I think as well. I think Harry Grant will come off the bench once he does
Yeah,
return. 'Cause
definitely.
I think he did that earlier this year, and maybe I think it was the game against the Roosters, and he just tore him apart. He's done it in Queensland before too, and I don't think he's been one of their best players, so I can't see him sacrificing his spot for Grant, as good as Grant is.
Yeah, I can't see him losing his spot. I think Smith will stay at 9, and then you'll get Grant coming off the bench. But a big one is Pappenhausen and Hines. You know, Nico Hines has been in unreal form. Like, he's playing the way Paps was playing last year, like, just unbelievable. So I don't know what they're going to do there. Like, if they're just going to put him back at that number 14 position.
They tried to play both of them at the same time, didn't they, last week?
Yeah.
I guess, again, it was a bit... You saw them struggle. Like, I hadn't seen Melbourne struggle like that against anyone all year. That's the first time, and it was against the Cowboys. I know they've been really, they've challenged everyone, but they're not the best team. They're close to the bottom, so it is a bit of a worry to me watching that game. Speaking of Bellamy, just signed a new 5-year contract. It's massive for the Melbourne Storm. Not necessarily coaching every year.
Yeah.
But he's going to be coaching next year and maybe the year after if he wants to. If not, obviously gets to find a young coach and groom him for the next couple of years.
Probably his son.
I doubt that.
Yeah, but no, I know his son's part of the coaching.
No,
staff.
he's part of the staff, but I doubt that. It'll probably be like a...
Jason Rolls or something.
Yeah, or a Kearney.
Oh, that's right, yeah. But
Please not Stephen Kearney.
But, I mean, if he's under Bellamy... He's always had success under Bellamy. You can't deny that.
it'll be good for Melbourne because he'll be there regardless.
And it would secure Brandon Smith.
You sure?
I don't
That's him?
think so because Brandon Smith wants to be a starting hooker.
Did you hear which club's going after him?
Yeah, the Roosters.
The Roosters?
Imagine that.
Wait, how old is Bellamy?
62, I guess.
Yeah, I
Could be
guess
around that.
the age is the only thing limiting him. Right
He
now
looks
from
young,
taking
but
on
he's
that
pretty young for his
full-time
age.
coaching role, yeah.
Pretty fit for his age. He's still doing the pre-season with him. Like, he could go till the bloody 100,
Yeah, that's what I'm
honestly.
saying. I guess it's his choice rather than his actual performance at the end of the day. And yeah, I don't know, Brandon Smith to the Roosters, that's an interesting one because they've got a couple of hookers there already. So
But not necessarily using him at a hooker. Maybe using him...
as a lock,
As
like
a
a Radley
lock,
or something.
Yeah, imagine him and Radley going at his, man. Far out. What a
Yeah.
combo. That's ridiculous, man.
And I think he'd heavily consider that offer,
Oh,
especially being the
100%.
Roosters.
I don't think so.
Why not?
Because if he's going to go to Roosters to play lock, he might as well stay at Melbourne and play lock under Bellamy.
Possibly, but money talks at the end of the day.
How are you going to keep all those players at Melbourne? You got to sacrifice.
How does Roosters maintain all those players?
Mate,
at the
they've
Roosters?
just lost half their salary cap.
I mean, are we still going on about that? They've lost how many players, man? What's wrong with you?
They can't even field a team
Yeah.
anymore.
I reckon Melbourne would have been in trouble if Bellamy left. I think if he wasn't there for the next couple of years,
Yeah.
then you would have seen, because we've been waiting for them to drop for how long? You know, if when Inglis left, we're like, nah, it's a massive hole. They want a premiership within 2 years. And then the big three, and then one of them went, they'll drop. They still made a grand final. Slater's gone. Now they're gone. Now they're definitely gone. They won the grand final again. You see the common denominator, it's Bellamy. And now he stays there, Everyone knows his work ethic. Everyone respects him, loves him over there. And he's got a mellower with as time has gone on. He's a genius. He knows what to do. He's got it all down pat now. Anyone can go to the Melbourne Storm, become a better player.
I think if Melbourne turns into an average side when he goes, that just proves he was the reason
Yeah.
they've been so dominant for so long and why he's one of the best.
I guess you don't want a situation now where he's the football director, helping a young guy and the young guy's struggling and the young guy can't handle it and he goes back into coaching. But there was no point of that.
Yeah.
Is that the same role as Ben Eichen and Gus Gould?
It's more on-field stuff, yeah. It wouldn't be like signing players or anything like that. He's overseen the program on the field, so it's massive for their club. Like we were talking about before we started, there's probably only 2 spots left in the 8. All right, 1 to 6, it's done.
There's only 1 spot left and Canberra's going to take it.
Okay, who took the second spot?
Cronulla's taking 7.
Did you hear Sean Johnson got injured or something? Did you hear about that one? Or
Did you see how good Connor Tracy played?
I don't care. I don't care.
Let's
I'm focusing points wise. All right, you get to predict your thing in a sec. All right. To me, it's 2 spots. There's a big gap between 6 and 7. It's 6 points. Manly's not getting overtaken. The top 6, they're there. Who takes those last 2 spots? Old mate here said Sharks takes one of the spots. I don't necessarily agree.
I was going to say Cronulla, but seeing how Sean Johnson got injured and how good he is, he's turned into such a good halfback, the way he controls the game and he puts the kicks into the in-goal and just hits the right passes at the right time. So that's going to be a big blow. I think if Titans get on the roll, there's still a decent chance of getting into it. Especially that new halfback had a good game too.
What's his name?
Sexton.
It's your boy, yeah?
Toby Saxton.
Yeah, one of those boys you scouted, huh?
He was in the Bulldogs development.
Oh, here we go, another one.
Well, you count Warriors out. They've given up themselves pretty much by letting Roger go.
That's another big story.
So Warriors are done. I think Cowboys are done. Tigers, they're just one of those teams you don't know what you're going to get.
They're in the hunt, but
they are. But I think it's going to be Canberra. And now, obviously, with Sean Johnson getting injured, I think that opens up a spot for the Gold Coast. The way St. George have been playing hasn't been too promising. I know they're still in the 8. I know Cronulla and St. George are still there, but there's still 6 games to go, and I just don't think that have what it takes.
To me, on paper, Dragons are the best team out of them.
Yeah, but have you
on
seen their
paper
team this week?
They're horrible.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's the same thing. I think Canberra, even though they got all those injuries, they can beat the top sides. They've still got it in them.
Oh, yeah.
If they try.
There's definitely been an attitude change over the past month. Which
100%. The way
that
they
game
played
against the Titans compared to that game against Para, massive.
Yeah, that game against Para was unbelievable.
100%.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and I agree, man. Titans, man. I think they're going to make a really big run at the end. You're talking about Sharks and Connor Tracy, bro. I could play good against the Dogs. What's wrong with you?
I like Connor Tracy, but this one's yours, Benny.
Well, who do you think? Who are your 2 teams that are going to make the 8? You said Sharks. Who's the last one? Canberra.
And if it's not Sharks, I reckon Canberra will slot into 7 and West Tigers will slot into 8.
Why the Tigers?
I just like them.
You like Adam Dewey, that's why.
Yeah.
It's just Adam Dewey. That's it with his bloke. But Newcastle, you're saying Newcastle, mate. I can't stand Newcastle, honestly. Without Ponga, I don't know if you've been listening to the podcast. I wouldn't pay a cent to watch them.
Yeah, no, they're pretty... What did he play this week, sorry?
Yeah, he played. Didn't he play?
Against the Roosters.
Yeah. Pumped.
Pierce, how long's Pierce out for? Because I think with Pierce and Ponga out, they're nobody at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they've had so many opportunities to beat certain teams and get into that 8 spot. They just keep failing. It's the same... And the coach got no clue. Like, you watch his press conference.
Yeah.
This guy's meant to be like one of the really good young coaches coming, from the school of Bellamy, school of Robinson. He's won titles.
Yeah.
This guy's got no clue.
Yeah.
I mean, you go watch the
I don't
press
know if
conference.
it's just his personality, but he does look a little lost in the press
Yeah,
conference.
I wonder what's going on. But
To be honest, even before the season,
all
right, we last year did really they did awesome, make the finals. You thought, okay, they're going to go into another level, step up here. Injuries don't help. But when you hear before the season, your coach, gets drunk and gets into a fight at the races, all right, because someone said something to him. I mean, what the hell? I mean, what does that say? How does that factor into your team? I'm not saying that's the reason, but that's not a good start to a season.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Was O'Brien in a fight?
Yeah, early in the season. He just doesn't seem to have any answers at the moment. I don't blame him, but because injuries again, not having Pierce is a massive blow. But man, they've lost to some teams that they should not have lost to.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. And like you were saying, he comes from a good system at Melbourne. I'm not sure if he was at the Roosters before as well.
Right, it was at the Roosters for the year they won, and then he
Yeah.
went there. And then went to
So he's been at 2 top clubs over the past 5-6 years. So yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on there. I don't know if he's got the support network. I'm not sure if he's taken on the role too early. You know, so who
Man, if
knows?
you're an assistant coach for 11 years, surely you've done your apprenticeship.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. Moving on, some signings just happened the last week for next year. Finucane to the Sharks, long-term deal at 30.
Yeah. They're starting to build a good team there.
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten some decent signings. I guess defensive-minded there with getting Finucane for Fitzgibbon, but he's a leader, Finucane. You know, that's
100%.
something a lot of teams that have been signing certain players lack. I signed this guy. He makes a massive difference to that pack.
100%. He's a leader. He's played Origin. He's won Grand Finals, won Origins. He's done it all. Craig Bellamy speaks so highly of him. So that's a massive sort of reference. Like, you know, like, what more do you need? So he's going to be massive for Cronulla. They've also got leaders there too, like Wade Graham, for example. They've got McInnes coming from the Dragons, who's going to help as well, and obviously Nico Hines. So they've got a exciting side, and they do have some good juniors coming through too. So they will be a good team to watch in the coming years, I reckon.
Yeah, I was surprised by the journalists blasting the Tigers for not getting Finucane. Like, I was just, I know it's a bit off the point here, but I'm just thinking in my head, like, what about if Maguire just doesn't want to get him? What about if it doesn't fit the team that he's trying to go for? Like, they got Tamo a year or two ago, and what's he done to the team? I know Finucane's, I think, a more reliable player than him, but what about if it's not fitting the mold of the team that the coach personally wants? So I just don't see the unnecessary attack on him.
Yeah,
as a coach.
I think they're having a crack at the Tigers because they've had a few players on their radar that they haven't been able to sign, like Pangai and now Finucane, and there's been a few others. So,
but does that fall on the coach? No way.
No. I think it's just the coach probably has a say in the reputation of the team, of the club.
But he necessarily isn't the guy to finalise the deal.
No.
That's to the guys, the CEO, the people that run the club. That's their job.
But if a club comes to you, if Tigers come to you, a Bulldogs come to you, and a Cronulla come to you, like, I know Bulldogs aren't playing the best football at the moment, but you look at their facilities, you look at what they're building, who they've brought in, who are you going to pick?
But it's the way you do business, all
Yeah.
right? And you hear the way they approach Pangai. They wanted Pangai. Pangai was open to it. Then they go, no, we don't want him. The Dogs offered him. They're like, oh, we'll throw an extra 500K on top.
Yeah.
That's not how you do business, man. Of course, it's not going to go to you. You know, you already showed your hand. You don't want him. Why would a player go back to you just for more money? Like, you can't think players are that shallow. I mean, you can't do business like that. And if that's how they've been doing business for the last couple of years, no wonder they haven't gotten their signings.
Yeah, I think they're going to be tested within the next year or so when Laurie and Dewey get off the market, because they're starting to fight for the Tigers now. They should be there for the long term. So if they let them go, then there's big problems at the club.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's their future. That's their future right there. You know,
I think Dewey's great. I think he's been killing it.
Every week. Yeah, he's been playing out of his mind this year. And it's sad because you don't see the results from a team perspective, but him individually, you watch it, he's carrying them half the time. Paul Vaughan to the Dogs today. That's a massive signing for Canterbury. 1 year deal.
Yeah.
400K. I mean, they're the only team that's been doing these 1 year deals.
It's been less than 400.
I'll be less?
Yeah, it was less than half of his 800. So I'd say probably about 350 he's getting paid for 1 year. That's what you're paying for an Origin forward. It's not bad. Obviously, he comes with a bit of a bad sort of reputation, but...
What does this guy throw a barbecue, man?
Yeah,
Come on.
And all his mates came over, you know, like, yes, it's wrong, it's right, whatever, but...
throw him in jail, man.
Yeah. Just, I don't know, 1 year's good. It's safe for both the club, for definitely for the club. And it also gives him a chance to prove his worth. And if he wants another contract, well, yeah, we'll up your contract, but you got to prove it. Same with Dufty. So they've been able to get both these guys on 1 year deals. I think it's a safe play by the Dogs. And who knows, there might be someone else on the market that they want and they're trying to fill the time. Or they're saying, if you want to be here long term, no other club showing interest, we're going to give you a crack. Prove to us why you're worth this certain amount of money for this certain amount of years.
To have the ability to do that 1 year contracts, that's unheard of in this day and age.
It's a feel-good method.
I mean, Dufty got signed 1 year before Gus, didn't he? Or you think Gus had a say in that one?
I think Gus had a play in that one.
These are his rumours, man. I mean...
Yeah, but don't you think that he would have spoken to someone and told him this is good
you
prospect?
You can't say yes and you can't say no.
Look, I mean, I wish we signed Napa to a 1 year deal instead of a friggin' 3 year deal, and then turns out, he hasn't done his best, honestly.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, he won't be there at the club next year for himself.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I like how Gus has sort of come out and said we'll give Flanagan a crack, and I think he deserves a
I mean,
crack.
he's there. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, I think you need a solid halfback next year besides Burden, because as much as I like Burden, I feel like in the halves this year he hasn't fully cemented his spot as a very good half. He's a great centre. I think he's a better centre than a half at this point. It'll be interesting to see how well he goes next year in the halves.
But it tells you a lot about this guy. He's never played centre, goes to centre, probably one of the top 3 centres in the game.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. That's like the skill and ability he's got. I guess playing half as a backup, you don't want to take over too much. You're trying to play into their system at Penrith. He probably has his own way of playing, and you might see that at the Dogs at a more comfortable position. But you're right, he's young, man. You don't expect him to take over. If Flanagan can prove himself in the last couple of weeks, why not try him next year? I mean, he's been slagged off. We don't know what's wrong with him. He's had injuries. Probably his confidence is shot. If his confidence is up, he's a really good player. But
I don't know. There might be some underlying issues there, because
maybe.
I don't know why he's been dropped for so long in the first place.
No clue. Ben, you happy with Paul Vaughan or what?
I'm ecstatic because of how much we picked him up for.
That's all you care about, the money, eh?
Yeah.
That's all you care. As long as it's been overpaid for him,
Yeah, which we didn't.
which we didn't, he's worth the money.
Yeah.
All right. What if he does play well? Would you re-sign him?
And give him a bit extra on top.
How much a bit extra? How much?
Probably an extra 100k.
So only 450 you'd spend on him.
150, so nothing above the 500,000.
Fair enough. You wanted to say something about the Queensland government, didn't you? You've got an issue with them, don't you? What's wrong with them?
Yeah, Anastasia has put like heavy protocols.
Who's Anastasia?
Anastasia Palaszczuk, the
Lord Premier.
The Premier of Queensland. One of the NRL players decided to go outside his apartment to his balcony to catch some fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's copped a 1-game ban and $7,500 fine, which is unnecessary.
Because he broke COVID protocol.
He broke COVID protocols. He just wanted fresh air.
No, I'm with you. It's stupid. 100%. But why are you blaming the Premier of Queensland?
Well,
Did she go and take the photo?
No, she didn't take the
photo. Did she catch him in his undies?
No, she didn't catch him in his undies.
So, I mean...
she couldn't catch him in his undies.
Okay.
Tokyo.
Okay, but why would you blame her? She had to put the rules in place like that. I mean... The real enemy is the media, is the Daily Telegraph and Courier Mail and all those rubbish newspapers that stalk these guys every single day outside their apartment waiting for them to break the rules. Bro, the guy wants to go hang out there washing or whatever the hell he does. They're out there. It's not the Premier. It's not Queensland. They have to do their due diligence. They have to make these calls because all they need proof is, did you tape up your thing? Oh, thanks. Then you can open it. Who cares? What are they going to go and choke inside and suffocate?
Yeah, like...
but why would you blame the Premier? It's the media's fault. They're the ones stalking the players to get a story out of them.
So it's Kenty and Buzz?
All of them. Stuff them all when it comes to this. No, I'm serious. It's like when they chase the Bulldogs on the Mad Monday. Who asked them to be at the Mad Monday and catch them?
In 2012, I think, after the Melbourne final.
That, even the one with Adam Elliott and, you know what I mean? That one.
And Michael Leach.
Oh, was that funny, was it?
Good old mate, Michael Leach.
No, honestly, okay, the rules are shit. I'm no doubt about that. You're right. What a dopey rule. It's like COVID transmits when you go into your veranda, honestly.
Fun fact for the day, there's been 0 outside transmissions since the pandemic began last year. So,
I mean, we could do a whole podcast on that. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, but look, again, I mean, that in itself tells you why the hell shouldn't they be allowed on their balcony. But regardless, that's the rule, yeah?
Yeah, I think, they're just trying to show the government that the NRL trying to show the government these are the stuff we've got in place to let this game run.
Yeah, I feel like it's all about reputation at the end, and that's
that's what it is.
That's always been NRL's biggest.
Yeah, but why are the media so dopey? Yeah. Why are you trying to end the game and then talk about it? I don't get that. Why do you have to do that?
Because that's how they sell.
Sell what? That you're killing your own careers now.
Yeah, I know.
What are you going to talk in the bunker like you did last year, Fox League Live, and do them dumb podcasts for 4 hours each, and invite Des Hasler or some shit?
Recommendate old games.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the part I don't understand.
And now he's got to pay a $7.5K fine.
That in
And
itself is
Is
dumb.
he suspended as well, or
One game.
so they're not
suspension.
allowed to go out on their balconies?
Nothing. They've got to stay in there and suffocate inside.
Wow, that's like.
I mean,
prison.
I think
That's
it's been-
literally prison.
No, it's been lifted tonight. It's been lifted tonight for the players, but for the partners and the wives
A few more
and
days,
the kids, that's for next week, I think.
That's a bit extreme considering there's no cases in Queensland anyway.
So
So
this is dumb. I mean, like I said, how does it transmit? How are you in danger going onto your balcony? How? I don't get it. Here's an ad from our sponsor.
The following announcement has been paid for by
Body Envy Massage. So we do massages all over Sydney. We're mobile. We come straight directly to you. We take bookings over DMs and text message. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook. We've also got a website, bodyenvymassage.com.au. On Insta, it's Body Envy Massage. Facebook, it's Body Envy Massage 17. We're mobile all over Sydney, so we travel to the north, to the east.
Sydney's number one.
Sydney's number
Sydney's
one.
number one. You can't get better than this guy. All right, we're back. It's round 20 in the NRL. First game.
Is tomorrow night the Roosters against Parramatta.
Nice save, Ben. Yeah, Parramatta disappointed last week against Canberra. I mean, Sterling's come out on YouTube and said that, you know, they're done for the year. They're too predictable. They can't beat the big teams. I think it's a bit premature. They had named Mitchell Moses last week. He's a massive key this year to their success.
I don't know, because I heard him on Triple M saying that he's not really blaming the Eels for losing, but he's rather praising Canberra for winning that game, considering how good they played.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I agree with you on Moses 100%.
Yeah.
They didn't have that flair in attack that they usually have.
Yeah.
Is he back this week?
No, they don't know when he's back.
Yeah, I think Roosters will get him this
They
week
don't.
then.
Last week it was just a very tough game. It was just one out, bashing each other, but they just didn't take their chances. I think, when Arthur set it up for Brown and he dropped it, that would have leveled the game, and then Sivo not scoring right at the end. So just things like that. Roosters have a few outs themselves, so it's going to be one of those games. So other than that, Parramatta have pretty much got everyone playing. Without Moses, they're pretty much stuck. So, they've got no reason not to win, I think, if they want to sort of make a statement in the finals and the back end of the season, because you've got to remember their next 6 games include 5 of the top 6 teams, and they're the other team in the top 6. So
Yeah. Don't count the Roosters out, but they played well
Yeah.
last week.
they did.
They came back into a bit of form last week, a bit of confidence back in the team. Look, Billy
Yeah.
Smith, Ikavalu out. It's massive.
Yeah, now they got Manu on the wing. I'm not sure.
I think he's going to have a bit of a roaming role there.
Yeah,
You'd expect it.
Yeah, I
Josh
don't know.
Morris back. It'll be a close game, man. And again, this is a game Parramatta should win. If they lose, builds more pressure on them.
I'm
So,
going
yeah.
to pick the Roosters by 15.
Okay, can I just say something? When's the last time a team won by 15?
I don't know.
Rugby union.
Okay. Tony.
I'm going to go Roosters in a close one.
I'm going to go Para 1-12. It's going to be a tight affair.
Yeah, I'll go Para. Just a big close game. Friday night, West Tigers, Warriors at Suncorp. Warriors, obviously heard Tuvasa Shek has left the game officially.
So Armel's gone back.
And
to New
Armel's gone
Zealand,
back to
yeah.
New Zealand. Disappointing news for them, but I guess they may as well move on. They don't really have a shot at the finals.
Well, it's because I think New Zealand's introducing like an 8-week travel
Yeah,
ban or
the
something.
bubble,
Yeah,
so they can make it back to New Zealand because they might not be allowed back for a while
Yeah.
if you stay in Australia. So, but regardless, Peter Hiku playing 5'8" just tells you the story of their season. I mean, I don't get that.
Especially if you've got Walsh at fullback, you might as well just put him at 6 and then just get Dallin or someone at fullback, and
Exactly.
so
Tigers again, man. They had opportunities last week against Manly. Again, it's a typical Tigers game. They're in the game, they get on a bit of a roll. One mistake, and then on the other side it costs them a try, and then they just get into a bloody collapse.
yeah.
It's just disappointing. That's the story of this season. Look, they should win. They honestly should win here. I'll go with Tigers.
Yeah, I'm gonna back the Tigers here 1-12.
Yeah, Tigers 13 plus.
That's special, is it?
I'm just going to go with the Tigers too.
Why not? Later that night, Broncos Cowboys. Both teams played awesome against the top 2 sides last week. Unlucky not to win, both of them. I guess Broncos lacked we were talking about it before, they lacked a bit of direction. If Adam Reynolds plays last week, they probably win. Cowboys, hard done by. Man, that try that got disallowed, I think it was early on in the game. Man, I mean, I don't get that. I just don't get the obstruction rule anymore. Like, no one was impeded.
You two both coach. Explain the obstruction rule.
You can't catch it.
You can't catch it inside the shoulder of the block runner.
And if you're running through the line, you got to go through the line. You can't stop.
But again, that kind of try should deserve, like the way they scored that, no one got impeded. That deserves. Yeah. It was just perfectly executed, man.
I think they just got to add a simple fix to it. Was it significant on the play or not? Have some common sense to it. That's all you got to apply. It's like when a player's offside. Was he active or passive for him to be actually penalised?
Because the thing is, that kind of play, if it doesn't lead to a try, no one says a word. That's right. No one says a word.
Yeah.
I don't get. Jake Granville played fullback. I mean,
what was going on there?
I mean, which player that was a dummy half later in their career goes to fullback? I've never heard of it.
I heard he was a fullback at his juniors. Yeah.
Wyndham Sea Eagles.
Wyndham Manly over there.
Yeah.
Mate, he's 30. How old is he? 33 or something.
He's named that fullback this week. He's wearing number 1.
Just for that reason, I'm going Broncos.
I'm going Brisbane too, by a lot.
Yeah, I reckon the Broncos.
I think Brisbane in a close one.
I heard Tessini's not signed, bro. They better sign him.
Yeah, I saw that today.
They reckon they don't have enough money to sign him. So.
But they signed Pereira.
From the Dragons?
From the Dragons.
Yeah. It's a stranger on that one.
To be a backup, I don't get it. Dragons, Rabbitohs. Enough said, Rabbitohs.
Yeah, I think, you look at the Dragons team this week. They're struggling for numbers. They've got a lot of juniors playing this week. It might be a good thing for him that, a lot of fresh young blood coming through, but I think just the way the Rabbitohs have been playing recently, they're starting to look good heading into the back end of the season, and I think they're going to make a really big statement this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're probably there in the final round of the year, so I'd imagine that they're a good chance of making the grand final. So look, it starts now, I think.
The only issue is the top two teams. Everyone else they can take care of. It's just when they get to Penrith and Melbourne, they struggle. So
I think they're up there with Penrith at the moment, the way they're playing. So
Rabbitohs obviously.
Yeah, Rabbits 13 plus.
Rabbits
by
40.
Another bummer of a game. Knights Raiders. I was really impressed last week. They were really good against Parramatta. Their intensity in defence, they didn't let up. You haven't seen that in a while from Canberra. They usually first half is good, and second half they just let go.
Yeah, Rapana's been good for them, and so has Corey Hardaway-Naira. So they've both been massive for them. And so with this game, it's one of those things where both teams are fighting for those 6, 7 and 8 spots. So I expect this to be very competitive, and I think Canberra will win because I think they're just in better form, and I think that they're starting to look good and hopefully secure a top 8 spot.
Big ins for Newcastle. Mitchell Pearce is on the squad. Maybe a late call-up. Bradman Best is back. David Clemmer. So they got some quality back in the team. They'll be up for it, man. But, Canberra just for me.
Yeah.
I think they're going to struggle because they're just away from home for the rest of the season, and they're very dependent on their home ground for them sort of wins. So I'm going to go Canberra.
I'm going to go Canberra too by 12.
This would be the game of the round. I guess it's still game of the round. Grand final rematch. Storm Panthers. We talked a bit about them before. Penrith, a lot of outs for them. Storm, honestly, just who they've got on the paddock. I just got to go Storm just.
Yeah, I think the lineup, obviously a big factor, and I think because of that, Melbourne, they've just looked the better team most past few weeks, and Penrith looked like they've struggled a bit. So I think Melbourne are just too smart and will be able to handle the occasion better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Melbourne by 20 or more. If they're playing their best, I can't see them winning by less than that.
Melbourne by at least 20.
Sweet. Dogs, Titans. Titans, I mean, they looked a new team last week against the Dragons. Killed it. Toby Sexton, we talked about him. Awesome debut. Canterbury, they just let the Sharks get to an early lead, man. And they competed as soon as that, they competed second half, but it's just too late. Flanagan's back. Yeah, I mean, surely Titans win this one. It's not even their home game, but it's at their home ground.
Yeah, the Titans, they're starting to come good as well. Like we said earlier, they'll probably be a top 8 team.
At that factor, getting to play most of their games at home for the rest of the year, 13 teams don't get that luxury. So
that's right. Yeah, I think Titans comfortably here.
I think Titans in a close one. I think Dogs will have another good effort. I just don't know if they have the the plays to get them over the line. I think Titans will outscore them, but it'll be a high-scoring game.
Dogs by 12.
They don't have the points. What do you mean dogs by 12? Why? You can't just say dogs by 12 and...
I reckon Flano is going to have a big game this week.
Okay, there we go. Fair enough. You believe in him.
Yeah, so Phil Gould's given him a chance and has told him, look, we're keeping you on next year. Show us what you got. Let's finish off the year strong.
Well, that's what it'd be. That's the whole point of the rest of the year for Gus. It's to see who's worth keeping, who's not.
Who was the 5'8" in that game for Dogs?
Averillo.
Okay, so they've dropped Lewis.
Yeah.
He's
Fair
been
enough.
playing too good.
Yeah, Titans. I think I said that. But anyway, Sharks, Sea Eagles, last game of the round. Again, Sharks, good win last week, but it was Canterbury and Sea Eagles. I mean, they look unstoppable. I mean, they concede 20, but they score 50 a game.
Yeah.
I actually think they're on top of the Bunnies in terms of that premiership run. Like, I think if you eliminate rounds 1 to 6, I think they've outplayed Bunnies and Para up until then.
Yeah.
And when they're on the attack, they're almost unstoppable with Tommy at the back there. And even their forwards, very underrated.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
The emergence of Schuster, Hamule,
Yeah. Tenella, Paseka.
they had really good players in their place before that, like Curtis Thurin and those boys, but they've all stepped up.
Yeah.
I think they've got Melbourne next week, so that's going to be a...
Yeah.
That's a
Cracker
big game.
With Fanua Blake going, like, a lot of people were questioning, they're going to lack a bit of punch in the middle, but their forwards have just taken it on, and they've been so entertaining to watch. And because, I know it's 6 versus 7, but because obviously Johnson being out and then Trebojevic and Cherry Evans being back, I think
Yeah.
they'll put on a clinic.
I think, Sea Eagles by a lot.
Yeah, Sea Eagles by at least 20 as well.
Sea Eagles by 30.
All right. Yeah, no need to explain that. That's fairly self-explanatory. All right, that's the games. Build, it's your segment. And, you haven't been around the grounds. I mean, we've been locked down, no stories, no one's answering your calls. You're the Oracle. So, you know what? We've decided to test you this week. All right? I'm still in the game of a well-known show, Inside the NBA. All right? They play with Charles Barkley. I'm going to test your knowledge, all right, of certain players. It's time to play.
Who he play for?
All right? You need me to explain it?
Please.
Okay. I'm going to tell you 5 names, all right? Each name you get about 20 seconds. You just got to tell me who they play for. Who he play for.
Easy.
Ready to go?
Ready to go.
Ready to go, boys? All right, first player, Zach Sini.
He started off as a Penrith junior and he plays for the West Tigers.
I didn't ask for the life story, but good start. Good start. I should have made this harder. All right, Jermaine Jolliffe.
He plays for Penrith.
Jermaine Jolliffe.
Oh, that's Jermaine Hopgood.
Oh, Gold Coast.
You got it wrong. You got it bloody wrong, mate. Sorry, any comments here?
Gold Coast.
Gold Coast, I said. Gold Coast.
Was he at Penrith?
Who don't, but this guy knows everyone's life story. I don't know.
There's Jermaine Hopgood. You probably got him mixed up with him.
All right. Next player, Isaac Lumi. Who he play for? 15 seconds.
The Roosters?
No.
Storm.
Okay.
Close, man. We know this, man. Come on.
He's from
All
the
right.
area.
This should be an easy one. All right. Sean Russell. Who he play for?
He is a Rouse Hill Rhino Junior and he plays for Parramatta.
Yes, he got 2.
I love that from you, mate.
All right, this is it. This is the last one. All right, you get this, you win the game. You stuff this up. I'm sorry, man. Taniela Otukolo. Who he play for?
Manly Sea Eagles.
The Warriors. The Warriors. He plays for the Warriors. Good effort, Ben.
Thanks.
That was a really good effort.
2 out of 6.
Thoughts, boys?
No, that was good.
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
I mean, this guy.
That was
Who else
good.
did I say?
A few tricky ones.
You
but
said, yeah, all right.
I mean, you're close. I mean, you are the Oracle. You got some right, so there's something there for you. All right. Any thoughts there, Tony? on his performance.
Look, I think you've done well because I don't even know who that last player is. Does he even play first grade?
Do you think I know, man?
I don't know if he's played NRL, but he's always been around the top.
I think I went to zero tackle. I looked at the gains and losses. I just looked at the name that, yeah, he's not getting this one. Thanks, Ben.
No worries.
We're not going to play this till next year, be honest with you. So I know what you're going to do. You're going to go start searching players and searching every bloody...
You're probably better off testing him next week to see how good his research is.
We might.
He's got nothing else to do.
We might. I mean, who knows?
Busy working.
Yeah, working. Yeah.
Health worker.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, boys. That was good. Jacob, thank you.
Thanks, boys.
Tony, thank you, mate. Welcome back.
Cheers, boys.
See you in about 6 weeks for finals. Next week, hopefully. And Ben,
It's always a pleasure.
you're the star of the show, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the footy. See you next week.